أهم القضايا التي تواجه المنطقة التي لا زالت تعاني من ويلات الحروب لعقود طويلة. نأمل أن يحالفكم التوفيق في اليومين القادمين وفي دراساتكم وأبحاثكم الرصينة والهادفة والمعمقة لتكون رافداً يساهم في حماية التراث الثقافي والتاريخي وصونه لنا وللأجيال القادمة. وفقكم الله دوما وشكرا لحضوركم.
أدعو الدكتور عبد الوهاب الأفندي رئيس المعهد لإلقاء الكلمة الافتتاحية. شكرا دكتور.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يسرني أن أرحب اليوم بضيوفنا الكرام في هذا المؤتمر الهام، وأبدأ أيضا بالإشارة إلى شركائنا في هذا المؤتمر، متاحف قطر
Qatar Museums, Qatar National Library. We have partnerships, continuous ones with the Qatar Museums, and I remember we've organized 3 international conferences, and we are working on deepening this relationship. Of course, the Qatar National Library, we had a relation that started since day one from the establishment of this institution, and this relation is deepening. We hope that it will keep progressing. I would like to thank them for participating in this important task. In the events, disasters that we're witnessing, like the earthquake in Turkey and Syria, and like the floods and the fires and the hurricanes that the world has been witnessing the last few months, that made us aware about the fragility of the human existence, and probably the most fragile thing are the cultural outcomes that are quite valuable. At the same time, these earthquakes, these natural disasters, sometimes human have a hand, can play a role in those disasters, but we believe that the best human nature led to those probably disasters, our endeavor to achieve prosperity and relying on fossil fuels, that probably played a role. But we also know that there are human motivations, probably more evil, less good in wars and conflicts that lead most of the times to the destructions of these cultural treasures, these humanitarian treasures that we try to maintain and protect. Probably what's interesting that during the times and ages of barbaric ages, during the the dark ages in Europe, for example, the cultural heritage was not touched, was not destroyed compared to to what's happening now, and due to the respect and appreciation of the leaders of these conflicts and war to those sites. Also, there are other motivations like greediness that lead to the looting, smuggling of of artifacts and cultural treasures. Of course, the best thing is that, as we say, that the best thing is to prevention for those disasters to happen by trying to avoid conflicts, trying to probably decrease the impact of this conflict, and also holding people accountable, and trying to reach regulations and laws that during post-conflict times to prevent the destruction of these cultural heritage. You know, our region, Iraq, Syria, and Libya, and Yemen, and Mali, our region, which is considered to be the cradle of civilizations, they were under the, Timbuktu, for example, has witnessed has witnessed events there where the cultural heritage was targeted, and different sites were targeted. So that makes the challenge for the reconstruction for those cultural heritage sites and treasures makes it an urgent need. And we are pleased and proud as well that the state of Qatar, through Qatar Museums, is playing a leading role in this aspect. So we are hoping that we have high hopes for this conference, and we would like to thank Doha Institution as well for arranging and organizing this conference, and we look forward to hearing your ideas, your papers as well, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. I would like to invite Dr. Noor Mnawar to start to deliver his remarks. Our dear guests, dear researchers, participants, and followers through social media platforms, may God's peace be upon you. When I arrived in Qatar last September, I met Dr. Amal Ghazal, and she asked me, how can I help you in your work with the Doha Institution? You resigned from your post in the University of Brian, and I said, I have two questions. How can I stop people from calling me doctor? I don't like titles, formal titles, and I would like to have organize a conference about the reconstruction of cultural heritage and focusing in particular in the Arab world. She told me that I can't help you with your first request. This is quite a cultural thing, and here in Qatar and the Arab world, people like to show their respect, appreciation for the academics. As for the second request, let us plan for this conference, and now we are here today opening this conference. The continuous war in Ukraine and the political unrest and chaos, armed conflicts in the Middle East and North Africa led to a big destruction to the cultural heritage sites and museums, in addition to the displacement of locals as well, millions of them. So the big destruction of the cultural heritage in Iraq, Syria, Libya, Yemen, and lately in Ukraine led to an increasing academic interest, and media reports that showed the lack for any successful research about the reconstruction of these sites and how will that impact the societies. The reconstruction of cultural heritage after post-conflict, it's a long process. This process is considered to be one of the first steps in the recovery, for recovery and post-conflict. But the reconstruction, unplanned reconstruction, can be harmful as the same way as the destruction. So the destruction of cultural heritage and restoration can be two sides of one coin. Based on that, and by following an inclusive, comprehensive discourse, our conference tries to combine diverse, systematic, theoretical, practical points of view about the reconstruction of cultural heritage and the future of cultural heritage in the MENA region. Our aim behind organizing such a conference is first to fill the gap, knowledge and the discourse, and also encourage the Arab researchers that who are starting their research life, whether in the Arab region, North Africa, and out of that to deepen their research to include the cultural heritage sites post-conflict, and to also to acknowledge that this is not only the MENA region is not a region where conflicts break or cultural heritage sites are sites, and that the cultural heritage can play a role in the recovery of the impacted societies when on a social, psychological, economic levels. And in conclusion, I would like to thank all the parties that contributed in supporting this organization: Dr. Amal, Ghazal, Ghassan Al-Kahlout, and Abdel Wahab Al-Afandi, Qatar Museums, Qatar National Library, and the organizing team. And I would like to call them the unknown soldiers behind the scenes: Zinat Hassan, Samiha Tajin, and the team of volunteers that I don't have the time to mention them all. And I would like to thank you all. Our specialized lecture is for Dr. Fatima Al-Sulaiti. She's the Director of International Cooperation Department in Qatar Museum. She has quite experience in Islamic art, and she is the expert that and representative of Qatar and the UNESCO. She has the responsibility of reforming policies and international programs that focus on the priorities of the organization within an international framework of international cooperation in museums. She was appointed as repertoire for Lahai Protocol. Dr. Fatima has a doctorate degree, PhD degree, sorry, in protecting and reserving natural sites and restoring them. And she has many articles that are published in journals, international journals and magazines. Her paper is titled as the efforts of Qatar in protecting cultural sites.
Good morning, Assalamu alaikum. It's my pleasure to be with you today, attending this conference for the post-conflict reconstruction of cultural heritage in the Middle East. I thank Dr. Ghassan Kahlout, Dr. Amal Ghazal, and Dr. Abdulwahab Al-Afandi and Dr. Nur Allah Munawwar for their cooperation in organizing this event. We are a promising country, ambitious country. We commit to our traditions and cultural heritage. This is what we got used to in this country. Now we want to spread this to other countries, extending our hand of help and support. This is what we noticed in the cultural reconstruction in post-conflict areas in the MENA region. What we will be talking about will pertain to Qatar's efforts in this regard in spreading the message of peace, reconstruction. cultural heritage is a value that all peoples cherish, and there are different tools to do that. This can be in the form of an artifact, like the example you see, which was made a long time ago, but has the details of the Abbasid period, and it was part of the exhibits of the Baghdad, the apple of our eye, at the museum now in Qatar. We were proud with our heritage, and the heritage was cherished as part and parcel of this country, and there have been many participations from different parts of the world. The role of the art and heritage enhances the role Qatar is playing in post-conflict reconstruction, with an eye on renovating and restoring, as well as displaying artifacts. The state of Qatar believes in the power of culture and education, and this is embodied in a number of activities and ascension to international agreements. Culture and education is an important aspect of the lives of every country. So what is Qatar's participation? First of all, we have extended a hand of help to countries in post-conflict construction activities, with various activities, exhibitions and the like. The expertise Qatar participated with, for example, at international exhibitions, as a vivid example of that. In the post-conflict areas, maintaining and restoring cultural heritage is very important, because more often than not, these conflicts cause severe damage to this culture. So we think this is a very important thing for every country, and it's a pillar in our relations with other countries, and what distinguishes Qatar. We stand proud of what we have achieved. The Qatar's membership of the second protocol of the Hague Agreement for the protection of cultural properties in times of conflict and post-conflict makes Qatar play an important role in raising awareness, providing help and support, and the state of Qatar has been represented by Qatar Museums Commission, which plays a great role here inside the country and abroad, and especially in post-conflict areas. Qatar Museums Commission has really taken the lead in this country, and we work tirelessly to make Qatar's museums the front line in this battle for protecting and hosting culture and heritage from various parts of the world, and spread awareness of it. Qatar Museums has invested its expertise in not only in tourism but sustainable tourism too, and has exerted great efforts. We hosted many exhibitions like Safar and Baghdad exhibition. For this reason, Qatar museums organized exhibitions like the ones I alluded to, like Safar, which means travel, which also focuses on the state of Afghanistan as a center for culture for thousands of years. Qatar has invested in its relations with Afghanistan in the last 30 years and played an important role in the evacuation of people who left that country at the end of the conflict and provided help and support and for the needs of thousands of people in that process. And also Qatar is helping in restoring the culture of Afghanistan, to protect the beauty and the culture of that country, and with a great appreciation of its people. Another example is the Baghdad, Qurrat al-Ain of Baghdad, or the apple of our eyes, as capital of the Abbasid Caliphate. And Baghdad is a city with had a lot of influence, culture, and we have invited different institutions to contribute to this exhibition. The Sudan plan of the year 2009 was also a project that we participated in, and that is to protect the Al-Marwi site, and the construction was done under the supervision of experts, and also Al-Hasa project in 2018, where a number of experts led this project. I invite you to our website to get to know more about Qatar's efforts in the Sudan and the projects that our organization has participated in, and we hope to do more in the future. The state of Qatar aims to enhance its relations with other countries and aspires to contribute to the reconstruction efforts in post-conflict countries, to stand with the people of other countries in their efforts at reconstruction in post-conflict areas, and we are proud of the help we provide. Thank you for your kind attention.
So just a slight change in the program. We will go for the coffee break, and then we will resume the session. We will go for the coffee break for 10 minutes.